Greetings, Guardians. And welcome to the Olympus Alliance review of the year that was, 2025 in Hero Wars, Alliance. Most of the time, here on Olympus Alliance, we look forward. We analyze what's coming next, what's worth building, what's worth skipping, and how to stay one step ahead of the meta. But as the year comes to an end, it's also important to pause for a moment. To look back at the journey we've taken together. Because 2025 was not just another year in Hero Wars. It was a year of transformation. A year of new heroes, new systems, new titans, and some of the biggest shifts we've ever seen in how the game is played. So today, Guardians, let's walk through 2025 together, the heroes we met, the metas that rose and fell, the systems that changed everything. And finally, take a small but hopeful look toward what 2026 might bring. Let's begin with the new heroes who joined the ranks of the Guardians this year. We started 2025 with Peach, in many ways, the final hero of the physical attack-focused era, before everything shifted later in the year. Peach found strong synergy with Chaos allies and performed well against defense lines with a softer core. Throughout the year, she remained a popular and effective hero in the right matchups. But the meta never stands still. Peach soon met her natural enemies, especially the Lian and Zesha combination. Two mages who punished her aggression and became increasingly common as magical lineups grew stronger. Peach didn't disappear. But she became a calculated choice rather than a default one. Then came Polaris, and with her arrival, the Octavia dodge meta came to an abrupt end. Polaris was a true game changer. With minimal investment, she delivered immense value through constant stuns, control, and magical critical chance amplification. She quickly became essential for players at every level. And when she found her perfect partner in Folio, the foundation of what many now call the Polio meta was born, a core that defined much of the year. After Polaris, we were introduced to Hus, the honor faction healer who made life very uncomfortable for offensive teams. Hus brought crit support, survivability, and defensive stability, especially against heroes like Kayla and Iris. On defense, he could be an absolute nightmare to deal with. But as always, balance prevailed. Mushy and her silence effects emerged as a strong answer, preventing Hus from fully controlling the fight. Still, Hus secured his place as a meaningful defensive option throughout 2025. And speaking of Kayla, while Hus offered a soft counter, the game soon delivered something far more brutal. Somna arrived, and suddenly, Kayla's iconic leap no longer guaranteed victory. Instead of deleting enemies, Kayla often found herself transformed into a sheep, neutralized before she could do her job. Somna didn't just counter Kayla, she redefined how physical aggression was punished. With her powerful control and synergy with area of effect attackers, Somna quickly became a cornerstone of the late 2025 meta and remains one of the most influential heroes heading into 2026. Next came an Eternity hero, who completely rewrote the rules of what a tank could be. Electra. A tank with zero armor and zero magic defense, something unthinkable before her release. Instead, Electra offered blind effects, control, and incredible synergy with magical damage dealers like Iris. As if Iris needed any additional help. Her design was bold, unique, and powerful. However, her launch cost was extremely high, and many players chose to skip her entirely. Still, Electra remains one of the most intriguing designs in the game, and we may very well see her return to prominence in 2026 if her cost becomes more accessible. The final hero of 2025 was Byrna, and with her, the rebirth of nature as an offensive force in global war. Byrna brought insane healing, bonus energy gain, and a magical penetration weapon artifact that breathed new life into classic nature cores like Mushy, Alvana, and Mojo. But Byrna didn't stop there. She proved flexible, fitting smoothly into progress and chaos lineups, and even finding surprising synergy with Satori. She wasn't just powerful. She was fun. And that matters. 2025 wasn't only about heroes. It was also the year we said goodbye to the Talisman era. And welcomed its controversial successor, Relics. Relics fundamentally changed hero progression. With a full paywall and extreme costs, reaching nearly $2,000 to max, they immediately divided the community. For many players, Relics felt unreachable, excessive, and frustrating. And yet, for those willing to invest, Relics delivered undeniable power. New skills, massive stat boosts, and a complete reshaping of certain heroes, especially for someone like Folio with a gold relic. Relic shards quickly surpassed even Blue Rune spheres as the rarest, and most expensive resource in the game. In 2025, careful spending became more important than ever. And then came the Titans, specifically, the Summoners. First arrived Verdok, the Earth Summoner. If we're being honest, this one may have been a little too successful. With almost no investment, Verdok transformed Earth from the weakest Titan faction into a dominant force. A 40,000 power Verdok-enabled Earth team could defeat light and dark defenses nearly twice its strength. Verdok brought stuns, energy gain, and damage amplification in one package, and even made dungeon runs significantly easier. Strong, efficient, and possibly too effective. Next came Asherona for fire, amplifying fire's damage output through her marks, followed by Tidus for water, enhancing healing and sustain. Both were strong and meaningful additions, but neither reached the meta-shattering impact of Verdok. Finally, we saw the arrival of Lumira, the Light Summoner. Instantly, she became part of the 5 light meta, boosting energy gain and effectiveness against Dark Titans. Unique among summoners, Lumira herself can take damage on the battlefield, requiring some investment, but in return, she helps shield the frontline and stabilize the entire light formation. And that, Guardians, brings us to the end of 2025. A year packed with change. A year of bold experiments. Some loved. Some questioned. Some still debated. As we look toward 2026, one thing is clear: Hero Wars continues to evolve. We know a new game mode may be on the horizon, Realm. Still in beta, still controversial, and clearly dividing opinion. Many players don't want to build a style experience, and here at Olympus Alliance, we understand that sentiment. But we also see potential: a shared world map. Resource nodes powered by heroes and titans. Strategy instead of construction. If you have thoughts, ideas, or concerns, share them in the comments. We will make sure your voices reach the community managers. So as the year closes, we want to say thank you. Thank you for watching. Thank you for testing with us. Thank you for challenging ideas, sharing opinions, and being part of this journey. 2026 stands ahead of us, full of uncertainty, but also full of opportunity. New metas will rise. Old heroes may return. And together, Guardians, we'll continue to analyze, test, and grow stronger. From all of us at Olympus Alliance, we wish you a happy new year, good fortune in your battles, and an incredible 2026. Stay tuned, stay sharp. And as always, salute and friendship.